There's this narrative going around that we can't win on the road. And that was a statement. And a little bit of a narrative like, hey, if it's a really lively, hard place to play, we kind of, we're not finishing those games. And I think a lot of that was statement today.
Frustrated? I mean, this thing means something to them. I mean, so you go in there, there's some guys with frustrations, felt like, again, we could do some more things, so they put a lot into this. And so immediately after games, there's some frustration. I do think they're together with it, but I appreciate it. They're competitive and, yeah, they're frustrated.
All right, there you are. Two different takes after two very different games. Let's start with the Michigan Wolverines. I just want to say this. All rise for Biff Poggi, who said he's going home for some Haagen-Dazs coffee, ice cream, and a Cuban. That is my kind of man.
And then the hospital, I think he said.
He did say the hospital.
Have a Haagen-Dazs, maybe a cigarette, and then go to the hospital.
Cuban.
Yeah, a Cuban.
Yeah, sorry, yes, you're right.
Not a cigarette, a Cuban. But Bob, just quickly, how much of a statement game was that on the road, the way they just ran down Nebraska's
A bit of a
throat?
statement, and Michigan is now 8-0 in interim coach games. They need to keep doing that, apparently. But
self-imposed.
No, that's the one thing, and the reason I think it's an impressive win, and they're 3-1, is because they're winning right now without it being the superstar freshman quarterback.
Yeah.
Oh, Bryce Underwood, well, of course you're going to start. Well, no, they're doing it the way they've always done it, with a tremendous defensive front and a tremendous running game. And Justice Haynes, he's probably going to climb in, dare I say, the Heisman talk. I think he leads the nation in rushing. And Underwood was fine. He hasn't made the big mistakes. He used his legs to keep it going at the end of the game to kill the clock. In that regard, the final score maybe wasn't overly impressive. You shouldn't give up Hail Mary touchdowns. And they had a lot of mistakes. But impressive the way they did it, which is the way they always do it, with running the ball and defense.
Certainly the season is long, and there's a lot of good teams in the Big Ten, Will. But how much do you think that maybe Michigan does have a chance to be one of the teams at the top? I don't think we talked about that enough going into this season.
If they can follow yesterday's recipe, I think they do have a chance. A stout rushing attack and a strong pass rush can take you really far, as Michigan has shown in the recent past. And they've discovered both here through 4 games. 7 sacks yesterday from 7 different players, from edge rushers, from linebackers, from interior defensive linemen. And then Haynes and Marshall both averaged almost 10 yards a carry. And I think Haynes is first in the Big Ten in rushing, third in the country. So let's slow down the Heisman talk there, fella.
But only had 179 yesterday.
But no, I think the offensive line, which was somewhat of a question mark entering the year, still has some work to do in pass protection, but they are run blocking the way they did under Jim Harbaugh. And that's a really good sign.
Oh, no, they definitely had work to do, and they still do.
Yeah.
But I think you've only started barely the surface of what Bryce Underwood you think can do.
Yeah.
They'll start peeling more and more layers of that off, and if they can survive while he gets experience, they're in good shape.
All right, we have 1 minute to quickly touch on the Spartans. Growing up as a Big Ten kid watching college football, USC was a team I always wanted to see the Big Ten teams beat up on.
Oh, yeah,
right.
They always did.
It makes sense. I mean, they kind of hung with them. Is that enough for the Spartans to go on the road and do that?
They did hang with them, and it was down to a 1-score game in the third quarter, 45-31 final. But Michigan State just does not have enough players on defense. They do have some weapons on offense, and that's how they hung with them, and they have some good receivers, but the defense it's getting decimated too.
Yeah, and I think it was discouraging for them, maybe even demoralizing, because they thought they had a run defense. They did, based on the season's first 3 games. Then they went in yesterday and gave up almost 300 yards on the ground, gave up 10 runs of 10-plus yards, and were gashed on the ground all day long. They just lack playmakers, especially on that side of the ball. A lot of work still to do for Jonathan Smith.
Well, I do think if you are a Spartan fan, you want to take a positive. Aiden Childs continues to progress.
Yeah, he does.
I think that's something that you can at least hang your hat on.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, Bob, thank you.
We can go home now?
Yes, I hope I don't see you tomorrow.
We have another show to do? Where?